Don't that sea look mighty? And don't my baby look the sweetest when she's in my arms asleep?
Jeff Bradshaw commented on my video when I was redoing this cart, making it the way I want it. He said, why didn't you make that tray swivel? Well, I did, Jeff, man. Should never doubt your brother. Well, the transmission pan's leaking pretty bad on this thing. You can see it seeping out around the gasket here. The bolts are tight, probably over-tightened is probably what happened. It looks like it's pushing the gasket out. Everywhere there's a bolt, it's pushing it out. Someone's done some sealing on it of some sort, I guess, here. This doesn't seem to be leaking, but the pan's leaking quite a bit. So I'm going to drop that off of there and see what I can do about that. Probably peen these holes back out on that pan so that get it leveled out a little bit. And the oil pan's leaking really bad as well. You can see it push on that gasket and puts a lot of oil out. It's just running down on the pan and leaking pretty bad. So in order to get that pan down, I have to take this link loose here, which is not a big deal, but I also have to drop this power steering booster link off of there in that special. But I've got some new gaskets from good old Rock Auto, rockauto.com. They hooked me up. So I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna do that today. Yep, that's my chore today. Alrighty now, we're going to put old Gus on. We're going to put Gus over here, and we're going to put Gus over here. So we're going to have Gus's here, and Gus is here, Gus is on the other end in the same place where Gus is on this end. We're going to have Gus on the other end. Old Gus is getting work out today. Okay, see what you fellas think. Don't know what happened. Bumped the button, I guess. Anyway, there's old Gus. He's all gusted it up. What do you think? Is that gonna hold? Reckon that'll rip off of there? I don't think so. I think it'll stay there for a day or two. Well, I'm gonna washer up these lag bolts. And I got some pretty lengthy ones. And I think that's probably going to hold that on there. You know, I really think it will. I was welding a project from a neighbor because he used to come home and find a tractor or sprayer or mower sitting in front of my shop here with a note on it. Can you fix this? Can you weld that? Yeah, I can try, you know. But he leased his orchard out to a big farming company, so they don't bring stuff down here anymore. But anyway, I was doing a project from a neighbor, and one guy commented on YouTube, and he said, I don't know, I wasn't even actually showing the weld for any particular reason. The camera just happened to pass by it, I guess, and he said, Can you really weld, or did you just pick out one good weld to show for the camera? Because that's what I think you did. And you know, it never occurred to me to do that. I could do that, I guess, but it just never crossed my mind to do that. But the reason he asked me that, I think I told him the reason you think I did that is because that's what you would do. Because we accuse others of what we do, you know. But no, all my welds are not real pretty, but I don't pick one out of another. I don't pick one out of a crowd. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can slap that puppy up there and get her mounted before it starts snowing or raining or whatever it is that it's going to do up there. It's something happening up there on the ridge. Black sky forming on the ridge. Woman waiting on the bridge. All that. Well, kind of a dreary old, rainy old kind of a day here in the Great Northwest. Days like this make me grateful. Makes me grateful to have this nice, cozy, warm shop to work in. I'm truly blessed to have it. I know a lot of people don't have, and I never did have growing up. When I was a kid, my dad just, you know, worked on everything out in the dirt. And I always thought it would be nice to have a good shop to work in. So later in life, I was able to save up all my lunch money, and I was able to get into this shop and make it what I'd like for it to be. And I'm very, very blessed to have it, as I said. So, you know, the first memory I have of any kind of mechanicing work was helping my dad. I went with my dad everywhere when I was a little kid. He took me everywhere with him. And I remember helping him working on an old Ford 9N tractor. And I don't know what happened to it. It seems to me, you know, it seems like he was putting rings in the thing, but whatever he was doing to it, he was doing it right out in the row, in the field, in the dirt, where it broke down, where he was plowing fields. I don't know, a ring job don't sound real feasible, but, you know, it wouldn't surprise me knowing him and the things he did. But that's the first mechanicing memories I have, was handing him wrenches at that time. And I was probably 4 or 5 years old, 5 years old maybe. And that's how I started learning. You know, I got to a place where if he asked me for a 1/2-inch box end, I knew what that was, or a 9/16 open end. I knew what that was, and I took great pride in knowing these things and being able to help my pops when he was working on stuff. So having those memories, working in the dirt, just makes me grateful to have this shop. So what I've done here, we talked about dropping that oil pan. I've got the tranny pan all buttoned up, and it looks real good. I don't think that's gonna leak. She's vertical, and she's in line with the pole. She lined right up. I think I'm happy with that. I believe we'll nail her down. Kinda high enough off the ground so that it looks kind of cool. It's getting ready to take off like a rocket ship. Let's see what we can do about nailing her down. There was a comment on Instagram, I think, or YouTube, Instagram, I think, when I was showing that old Warren was bouncing up and down on that, on the back end of that hoopy, and it was just about to break in half. And somebody said, you almost had half a hoopy, and I said, no, I almost had two of them. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get my rosebud. I think I'm going to catch the pole on fire. Where's Danny Brown when you need him? We're not quite done yet. My next step is to brace that pole. I'm going to put a brace from that pole over to the 2x6 inside the building there. So I'm going to get busy on building some brackets to hold that to the building. So this wasn't too tough. All I did was take the bolt off the end of this shaft here and drop this down and push the old tie rod forward a little bit, and I think that's going to allow me to drop the oil pan without too much trouble. Well, this is a good sign. Nothing ugly in the oil pan. No chunks. That's always good if you don't find any chunks or lumps. No metal shavings. Nothing but oil. No silver mud. Anything like that. No shiny mud. Silver colored, gray, no gray mud, just pure oil. I'm happy to see that. Okay, we are liking that. It's not very often that I get accused of having my bubble in the middle, unless you're talking about my belly. But that is looking pretty good. And I'm going to eyeball it this way. It looks pretty good this way too. I might check it for plumb. Yeah, it's pretty good that way too. It's off just a smidgen, but we're not working in increments of smidgens here. We're working in increments of close enough and good enough for government work. I don't know, there's 2 or 3 different kinds of sealer on this gasket, I guess, but there's some clear silicone on it. I'm no mechanic, but that wouldn't have been my choice. It didn't stick at all. It just kind of made a mess and squished out the sides, and you know, they over tightened this pan so bad that the holes are pretty much sucked down, and I'm gonna lay it back on this table and take my ball peen, and I'm gonna tap those holes back down and level that up. So maybe that'll be a little better. And I'm gonna use some different deep. I'm certainly not gonna use clear silicone on it. That looks like something you'd use in your bathroom somewhere. All right. Yeah, I'm going to take a wire brush and clean this up real good and get any of that old cork off of there that might be stuck. It's in a place or two. Like I said, they used a couple different things on it. Some of it stuck, but that clear stuff didn't. It just peeled right off. But I'm going to, like I said, peen these down, level them up, and if you got the right kind of stick-em goodie, you don't have to tighten those bolts down so tight that it warps the pan like that. No, you don't. Well, there she is. I don't have any white paint yet to paint my pole. I got to touch up the black, and I got to paint the white where I caught the pole on fire. Old Danny Brown move. Yeah, but anyway, there it is, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, that just turned out just the way I pictured it in my think. Okay, let me just interject something here. There have been 2 people commented on that last video. Well, so far there's been 2 people. There'll probably be more, but 2 people commented and said, you know, Ken, we thought you were going to take that guy with his hands over his head and have him hold up the belly tank. And that would have been a really cool idea. And I wish I'd have thought of that before I had it painted, before I had the mural painted on it. My buddy painted Bernice on the side, and I just pictured it being upright on that pole. And I didn't think of that, fellers, but that would have been a really good idea. But since Bernice was painted on the vertical, I kind of needed to stick with my idea of having it mounted on that pole in a vertical position. And I kind of like it under the Texaco sign. So I'm not sorry for the way it is now, but I wish I'd thought of that or had that idea myself. That was a really good idea, guys, so thank you for that. Next time, get with me before I do something silly and set me down and just give me a good talking to and get me straightened out and get me on the straight and narrow, and I'll try and do the right thing. Thanks, fellers. Well, what it did was, in my hoard, and going through my hoard, look what I found. I found a turnbuckle. And I put that up there, and I got that old pole just cinched up there just right. And over on this side, I got another little bracket over here. I just bolted it through that 2x6, and I can tighten that up a little if need be. But she's plumb the way it is. I checked it for plumb, and she's plumb. So she's plumb good right there. I should keep it from falling over. Well, you know, it's getting on up toward evening time. I just went down and locked the gate, closing things up for the night, shutting things down. Parked the tractor over under the shed over there in case it snows. I hope it don't, but it could. It feels like it could. We topped out at 49 degrees today up here. And there's a lot of snow up on the ridge. I'm looking at it up there. I expect they'll be skiing before long if they're not already. It's kind of chilly, you know, and I just feel like I ought to go in and take a shower and get warmed up real nice and go in and sit down at the computer and make you guys a video. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, you know the deal. I appreciate you.
Son away.